Manchester United reportedly eyeing up deal for Jarrad Branthwaite in the January transfer window. Transfer battle for Alphonso Davies with Real Madrid. And apparently Lenny Yoro is set to start in the Premier League on Sunday against Ipswich. These are some of the topics we will be discussing on this morning's live show. But before we get into that, please do me a small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 500 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're currently only 7 subscribers away from 39,800. So please go and do that now if you haven't already. And let's jump straight on into the show then. So first of all, as always, I like to make the shows interactive, and I've got a question for you this morning. Should Manchester United, well, it's a two-part question. Should Manchester United try and sign Jarrad Branthwaite? That's part one. And the second part is, should Manchester United try and sign Alphonso Davies? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will give you my thoughts as well, obviously, in a couple of minutes' time. But let's start off with some positive news coming out from Carrington. The news this morning is that apparently Lenny Yoro is looking good and likely to start on Sunday versus Ipswich Town. I mean, that's such good news, isn't it? I felt so bad for him when he got injured in pre-season. He has been in training all of this week. Apparently, he's been doing really well. He's been impressing at Carrington. Obviously, he's been pivotal in the training sessions as part of Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 setup that he's obviously now testing. We obviously know that Lindelof is injured. We know that Martinez is injured. I think Harry Maguire might be injured as well. So at the moment, the only fit centre-backs that we've got are Johnny Evans, Lenny Yoro, De Ligt, who's obviously out on international duty still. I think he's back today. He was playing for Netherlands last night against Bosnia. And I think Luke Shaw's been playing as the left-sided centre-back in training. So we don't really have many other options. And obviously with Ruben Amorim playing 3 centre-backs, you know, when you've got Maguire, Martinez, Lindelof all injured, Lenny Yoro is going to have to play. And it might even be that there's some youth players on the bench in the centre-back position because there isn't really anybody else. Obviously, Willy Kambwala went, Varane went. So, yeah, I'm excited to see Lenny Yoro. I think this game against Ipswich is actually the perfect match for him, to be honest. Obviously, it's a slightly lesser opponent. They're still a decent team. Obviously, anybody in the Premier League is a good side, but it still is, you know, it's not like you're playing Man City away. You're playing Ipswich Town, with all due respect. So, excited to see that. The story also says that apparently Mason Mount is looking likely to get minutes on Sunday. And you know what? For me, the players do have somewhat of a clean slate. I'm not going to forget the bad performances they've put in, but people like Mason Mount, he hasn't really had an opportunity yet. Obviously, he had a terrible injury last season, and then he's been injured again this season, which is really disappointing. And I hope and pray that Mason Mount comes good under Ruben Amorim. You know, I want nothing more than some of these mega signings that we've done under Erik ten Hag to turn out to actually be good, because at the moment, most of the signings that have come through in the Erik ten Hag era are looking pretty awful, really, if you think about it. I mean, Mason Mount hasn't obviously really worked. Anthony, been terrible. Xerxes, at the moment, I think is still a massive question mark. Casemiro, I think is a quality player, but definitely past it. You know, when you break down all of the players that we've signed under Erik ten Hag, it's going to be a real job to get the best out of these. So if Ruben Amorim can do that, that'll be really, really exciting. But yeah, I'm excited to see Lenny Yoro and Mason Mount on Sunday for Manchester United. The story this morning also says that apparently Luke Shaw is not able to play a full 90 minutes, but he is expected to get some minutes. So we could effectively have back on Sunday Luke Shaw, Lenny Yoro and Mason Mount all in the team, which I think is great. You know, I know some people will be like, sell Luke Shaw. Like, we can't do that. No one's going to buy Luke Shaw. No one's going to buy Mason Mount. We have to try and get the best out of these situations and these players. And I think that's probably the toughest job that Ruben Amorim's going to have, because from what we're hearing, he's not going to be given the same amount of money as what Erik ten Hag was given. Ten Hag spent over £600 million in 3 seasons. Not even 3 seasons. It was 2 whole seasons. Was it 3 summers, wasn't it? 6 transfer windows, he spent £600 million, Erik ten Hag. He had 3 summers and 3 Januaries, I think. Or it might have been... No, that's wrong. It was 3 summers and 2 Januaries. So in 5 transfer windows, Erik ten Hag spent 600 million on players. And apparently Ruben Amorim's not going to get that level of investment, apparently. So he's going to have to try and work with the players he's got somewhat. Obviously, there will be some players being brought in, but he's not going to have an open checkbook like Ten Hag had. It's going to be a little bit more restricted, apparently. Obviously, it depends. If we qualify for the Champions League, if we start winning things, then that might change. But at the moment, we're in the bottom half of the Premier League. We're not in, obviously, the European places. We're not doing particularly well in the Europa League. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're not really in a position at the moment to say, let's throw loads of money at this project, because where's the money going to come from? Obviously, with financial fair play and all the rest of it, you have to prove where your money's coming from now, don't you? So even if you have the money to spend, sometimes you can't spend it. But yeah, let's see what people are saying in the chat this morning. Johnny says, where's Mazraoui? Mazraoui's still on international duty for Morocco. I think he'll be back today. So yeah, that. But obviously Mazraoui won't be playing as a centre-back. He'll play as a right wing-back probably. You know, the centre-backs, I might be wrong, but I'd be very surprised if Mazraoui plays as a centre-back. Johnny says, you guys say Mount is bad because he is injured. He's class when he is fit, though. I mean, I think it's difficult to say he's class when he's fit. I don't think we've seen enough of Mason Mount to really form an opinion. That's my take on Mason Mount. Like, I'm not going to sit here and criticise Mason Mount because I haven't seen enough of him to really actually give you a solid opinion. You know, all I can tell you as a fact is that Mason Mount is injured all the time. That's all I know. I don't think he's had like 5 games in a row, has he, before getting injured? He'll be injured for like 2 months. He'll play half a game of football and then he'll be injured again. That seems to be Mason Mount's trajectory. Right, let's move on from that though, and let's jump on over to Jarrad Branthwaite then, shall we? So this story came out last night from multiple different journalists in the UK, and the headline is that Manchester United have held talks in recent weeks about the possibility of signing Jarrad Branthwaite in January. It says that Jarrad Branthwaite continues to be seen as a high potential player for Manchester United that would be a key piece of the puzzle alongside Lenny Yoro and Ruben Amorim's back three moving forward. Now, I don't really understand this, to be honest. Like, we've got Lenny Yoro, we've got De Ligt, we've got Martinez. Those should be the starting centre-backs for me, right? You would have Martinez as the left-sided centre-back, De Ligt is the central centre-back, and Lenny Yoro is the right-sided centre-back, okay? So you've got those 3 players. Obviously, you've then got Maguire, Lindelof and Johnny Evans. All 3 of those players, their contracts expires in the summer. Maguire, Johnny Evans and Lindelof, right? So the main kind of players in that centre-back position going forward, as I said, will be Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw and De Ligt. Our expectation is also that Luke Shaw is going to play as the left-sided centre-back as well. So you've got 4 players in the centre-back position. Now, if you bring in Jarrad Branthwaite for what? 60, 70 million pounds? It's going to be a massive amount of money. Let's say 60. I think we offered 50 in the summer and Everton rejected it, right? So they're obviously going to want more than 50 if they've rejected 50 already. So let's say 60. Who does he bench for Jarrad Branthwaite? I mean, Martinez, cost 50 million? De Ligt cost 40 million and Lenny Yoro cost 50 million. Who do you bench? It doesn't make much sense to me. For me personally, we definitely need to strengthen the centre-back position, but it should probably be younger players or maybe a slightly older player. I mean, I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I personally, so just to give you a bit of a roundup of the situation, Lindelof's contract expires in the summer. There's no option to extend. Johnny Evans' contract expires in the summer. There's no option to extend. The expectation is that Johnny Evans will retire from football. But Harry Maguire, his contract expires in the summer, but there is an option in the contract that he can have 1 extra year at Manchester United. So I personally would trigger that because I think Harry Maguire in a back 3 would actually be all right. I'm not saying he's the future of the club. I'm not saying he should be here for the next decade. I'm just saying for 1 more season, you keep Maguire because I think we've got to invest in so many other positions, right? So your centre-backs would be Maguire, Luke Shaw, Lenny Yoro, De Ligt and Martinez. And then maybe you go and sign 1 more centre-back, maybe a younger player, maybe one of the centre-backs from Sporting, who's obviously going to cost a hell of a lot less than Jarrad Branthwaite. That's what I would personally do because in my head, I'm looking at our team and I'm thinking, we need a left wing back. We probably need a right wing back. We probably need another midfielder because Eriksen's going to go and Casemiro might go. We're probably going to need another striker because Højlund can't manage it on his own. We're probably going to need another attacking player on the wing, especially the right, because you think that Sancho was sold, Mason Greenwood was sold, Pellistri was sold. We sold 3 players in the right wing position last summer and didn't reinforce it. So our right wing options actually got worse, So I think we definitely need to strengthen in lots and lots of positions. But I just think that going 60, 70 million for Branthwaite, for me, is he a good player? Yes. Is he world class? I don't think so. Is he worth 60, 70 million? I don't think so. Are Everton going to try and get as much money as possible from us? Yes, of course they are. So for me personally, I think it's one to avoid. But the news is stating that apparently Ineos have this obsession with Jarrad Branthwaite. They really, really want to bring him to Manchester United. I get it. He's obviously English. You have to have a certain amount of English players. He's young. He fits the age profile. He's Premier League proven. I understand the reasons why they want to sign him. I just think at this moment in time, we need to fill so many pieces of this puzzle, right, to get Ruben Amorim's team the way it wants to be, that spending 60, 70 million on a centre-back, when you've already got, at the moment, 40 million De Ligt, 50 million Martinez, and 50 million Lenny Yoro, who gets benched? Now, I know people will say, obviously, you need squad rotation, but I just think it's maybe not the best bit of business. But let me do a little poll, actually. This will be an interesting one. So let's do this. Should United sign Branthwaite? It's going to be about 60 million. We offered 60 million in the summer, and 50, and they said no. So let's do that. We'll do this. If you're watching the video back on repeat, you can let me know in the comment section. The question is simple. Should United sign Branthwaite for £60 million? Let me know your thoughts. And everyone who's just joined the video, if you could do me a small favour and smash a like, that would be really appreciated. We've set a likes target of 500 for today's video. And we are now only 2 subscribers away from 39,800. So if you are watching for the first time today, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm live every single day. Go and do that right now so we can get to 39,800 by the end of today's video. That would be really, really appreciated. Okay, let's move on from Branthwaite and let's jump on over to Alphonso Davies. A really, really exciting player, Alphonso Davies, somebody who I think would be absolutely unbelievable for Manchester United. So let me bring you the latest news on Alphonso Davies, because Manchester United apparently are really, really determined to sign Alphonso Davies. This was reported last night that apparently, let me just get the news story up for you quickly. Here it is. So the news is stating this, that Manchester United are hoping to sign Alphonso Davies. It says no agreement with any club has yet been reached. The story goes on to say that he is the dream solution to play as the left wing back in Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3. I would agree with this 100%. 100%. For me, Luke Shaw will be a left-sided centre-back. He's not going to play at left wing-back, okay? Dallow's a right-back. Mazraoui's a right-back. So those two can fight it out for the right wing-back position, even though, obviously, we know that Ruben Amorim usually plays wingers in those positions. But still, it'll be Dallow and Mazraoui on the right wing-back area, okay? Alphonso Davies is absolutely perfect for the left wing-back role. And one of the most interesting things about Alphonso Davies is obviously the fact that his contract expires in the summer, right? He doesn't want to stay at Bayern Munich. He wants to leave. His contract expires in June 2025, which means that Manchester United can agree a pre-contract deal with him in January. Now, there is obviously this expectation that he's going to end up at Real Madrid, but Fabrizio said a couple of days ago that the story saying that that he's already agreed to go to Real Madrid is false, and that he's talking to lots of different clubs. Now, I actually think under Ruben Amorim, it's quite an interesting proposal for players to come now, I think. Whereas I think under Erik ten Hag, it was kind of going backwards a little bit. Obviously, the thing as well that I don't really understand is Real Madrid obviously have Ferland Mendy. So, I'm not sure if Ferland Mendy's injured, maybe. Okay, I'm just having a look here. So Ferland Mendy's contract expires in 2025. So, yeah, maybe Real Madrid are thinking we'll let Ferland Mendy go and we'll bring in Alphonso Davies as the replacement. I mean, that does kind of make sense. And they've obviously got that Fran Garcia guy, who's a lot younger. Yeah, so I do kind of get why they would want to go for Alphonso Davies, Real Madrid, but yeah, I don't know. If we managed to get Alphonso Davies, that would be an absolutely unbelievable signing. Unbelievable. I would love to see him at Manchester United. Yeah, he would be an absolute dream signing for me. And obviously with the fact that he wouldn't cost any money, that makes it even more better. You know, like the fact that he would be a free agent would be absolutely unbelievable. He currently earns about 200 grand a week at Bayern Munich, which isn't crazy. You know, when you think that Maguire's on 200 grand a week, you think that Mason Mount's on 250 grand a week. So his exact salary is 179,000 a week, Alphonso Davies. I mean, if you were to offer him 250, 300 a week, that's a massive pay increase for him, isn't it? That's like 100 grand a week more. You would hope that he would probably be interested in that. And if you look at Real Madrid's wages, they do pay big wages, but there's kind of like a big gap, you know, like somebody like, for example, like a Rudiger's on about 200, and then you've got people like David Alaba and Modric who are on about 350, and Mbappe who's on 500. So I don't know. I'm not really sure how much Real Madrid would be willing to offer Alphonso Davies in wages, to be honest. It's a hard one to predict. Obviously, with him being a free agent, it probably bumps up the potential for wages, because obviously you're not paying a transfer fee. But yeah, I definitely would like to see Alphonso Davies at Manchester United. I think he'd be absolutely quality. But obviously, I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on Alphonso Davies. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this morning. What have we got today? Let's have a look. Sheikh Jim says, what about getting Alvaro Fernandez back? Yeah, I mean, Alvaro Fernandez is another option. Obviously, we spoke about him so many times on the show, haven't we? We all know that Manchester United have this buyback clause with Benfica, don't we? I think it's around £16 million. I personally think, like, the left-back position is one of the biggest issues for Manchester United. Obviously, Malacia, still massive question marks. And obviously Luke Shaw for me isn't a left wing back. He's not going to be able to play there, to be honest. And obviously his injury record's terrible. So I think, you know, in an ideal world, if I was Ineos, I'd be bringing back Alvaro Fernandez from Benfica. The buyback clause is about £16 million. And then I'd be doing everything I can to bring in Alphonso Davies in the summer. And then at least we're sorted in that position. You know, you've got two left wing backs there, which would be absolutely perfect. So, yeah, obviously at the moment, it's all just speculation. It's all just news. So we'll have to wait and see if it actually materialises into a signing or not. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how it all goes. Cold says, is there any updates on Kolo Muani? No, the Kolo Muani story seems to have gone a little bit quiet. For anybody who missed the video yesterday, there was a story coming out of France saying that apparently Manchester United are looking at trying to loan Kolo Muani from PSG. He's not really played that much football for PSG this season. He's only played 400 minutes across all competitions. So I think there is a bit of a desire from the players' side to try and get some more minutes somewhere else. You know, he joins from Frankfurt a year ago for 95 million euros and now is only playing about 400 minutes out of a potential... PSG, I think, have played around 15 games this season already. So about 1,500 minutes, right? And he's only played like a quarter of the minutes. I'm not sure who's playing as the main striker for PSG. If anybody knows, let me know in the comment section. Because I had a look yesterday and it doesn't look like Gonzalo Ramos is playing that much either. So I'm not sure who it is who's kind of the main man for PSG these days. Obviously, Mbappe's gone. Gonzalo Ramos has only played 20 minutes for PSG this season. Who is it then? Let me see if I can work this out, because it's really confusing me. Obviously, it's not... If anybody knows, let me know in the comment section, because I was looking at this yesterday and I couldn't get my head around it. I'm like, if Gonzalo Ramos and Muani aren't playing, then who is the striker? Oh, is it that Hugo Ekitike? Is it him? Let's have a look. Yeah, so he seems to be the one who's playing all the minutes. Oh no, that was in the Bundesliga. If anybody knows, if anybody watches French league football, let me know in the comment section. Because it was really, really confusing me yesterday. I was trying to work out who the main striker is these days, because neither Gonzalo Ramos or Kolo Muani seem to play. And I can't see who else they even have as strikers. Okay, so people are saying in the chat that they usually have Asensio or Barcola. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so effectively they're playing players out of position at the moment. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching this morning. Please make sure to drop a like before you leave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well before you go. We're only one subscriber away from 39,800 now, so go and do that right now. Have a great day. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bye for now.